Welcome to Wib Magazine Interview. I got my co-host Mickey Monday on the line. What's up, Mickey Monday?
Not much. Just hanging out, vibing, ready to interview our next guest coming up. So it's going to be pretty exciting.
I know. We got Mr. Imodel, Mr. Theo, Mr. the Undercover Atlanta Celebrity on the line with us today.
Man, listen, never that. I'm just regular people out here trying to make it. So, but definitely appreciate y'all for having me.
Yes.
Sure.
So, I want you to tell me about Imodel Booth events.
Well, as far as Imodel Booth, we don't throw events. What we do is we come in and turn up everybody else's events. So, from the traditional standpoint, like we are a photo booth company. That's what we started out being. You see photo booths pop up now everywhere, from weddings to restaurants to grand openings to, just whatever where somebody's celebrating. So that's definitely what we started out to do. We got our own equipment that has a go anywhere, do anything with it footprint. So we can go anywhere, anytime, and just get busy when people want to go, and get your photos popping. So that's definitely what we do and what we're known for. But that's not where we're going to end. We got a lot of crazy stuff that we got going on that we're involved with, because at the core, it's not even about the photo booth. What we're really doing is branding. When we come out, there's a certain brand message that we're putting on the bottom of all of those pictures that's going to everybody that showed up at that event, that they're going to share out on their social media. So, right there, if it's Coca-Cola or if it's your mama's name, whatever, it doesn't matter to us. That brand message you're trying to push, we make sure that we present it in something that they like. They gonna reshare, they're gonna put it on their social media. But at the end of the day, your logo is right there on the bottom of it, and it's going right along with it. So that's what we do. Bottom line is branding and brand marketing.
Okay, and I saw your product, and I noticed that there's a lot of those kind of booths that are popping up now because it's really trendy with a lot of the party goers. So do you have any projected goals with that aspect of your business? Because, I know you're more focused on branding and exactly. I know you're focused.
So here's the reason. Here's the reason why I'm doing that real quick. While you're doing that, it's a lot of booths that are out there, but you haven't seen any of them that could do this
with the light on it.
Yeah, like this is wireless. You don't see a cable. You don't see anything.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
The fact that it can go anywhere at any point in time. So yeah, it is definitely. Did we invent the photo booth? Nah, we didn't. You know what I mean? But I guarantee you, nobody else in it. But what we do with the photo booth has always been different since day one. Being that we make the equipment in-house, we've gotten a lot of chance over the past 3 years to really just go out and test it in the field and see what people like. A traditional big box booth, closed in, curtain, that type of, it worked in the 70s, cute in the 80s, dragged on in the 90s, then y'all forgot about it. You know what I mean? So everything is coming back to be digital, be, lighter, connect with you more. And that's definitely what we set out to do with our model booth. So like I said, I just picked it up, not flexing, but where ours can go and what it can do is just different. It opens up the whole arena. And if you got a chance to check out the social media, you see the different things that we do. That's all footage that's captured from the booth while we're actually at the event, and we'll put it together in some type of cute little marketing package, depending on what we're working on.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes.
How did you even get started into doing this?
Failure. You know what I mean? Like, that's not my first rodeo to come around and start a business. I started a nonprofit before that kind of, went in with real good intention, bad planning, bad people around you type of situation. So I really just kind of fell back, but I always wanted to get back out and have my own business. So I just kind of sat back for a while, and then about 4 years ago, a situation presented itself. Shout out to 1101 Entertainment, still my people over there. But brought me in to figure out where I can help that situation get along because of my business acumen. You know what I mean? So they brought me in probably on the business side a little bit, to help out on some other ways, extra manpower, the whole nine. But you had the three partners involved was, One was doing the audio, you know, the visual. He was taking care of the editing. He was doing all that graphical type of side of it, along with providing those services and events. And then we had the other partner who was handling all the D stuff, so providing those services to the event. So it really wasn't, either one of those is my lane. I could pick up a camera, I could turn a record, but neither one of those are my lane. So really just trying to figure out where I can get into it. We went to a trade show and I saw a photo booth and I was like, that's it. Like, I think that's what we need. I can see the potential in this. And then it went from that to I can make my own. And, you know, that led to the first prototype for it.
Wow. And I know you also got some iModel games. I played one of them. I played the Uno one, which was real, real dope. So tell us about all the games you got on Google and Apple.
All right, hold on real quick. I'm just gonna flip it around. Yeah, you see, that's what I was showing y'all on the screen kind of a little bit earlier. So as far as the Uno, there you go. So the Uno is one of the games that's upcoming. Currently, we have 7 games on Android. We got 3 games on Apple. The goal is to really get to the point where we got 10 on each one coming up by this summer. So you can kind of see, you know, I mean, it's Uno. Everybody knows kind of the rules of how to play it. I got the sound off right now because I don't want it to interfere with this. But I don't know how well y'all can see it, but up in the corner, this is Too Mellow song, Rich Forever. So local ATL, independent artists. That's definitely the whole vibe of what we have going on our games. This is a little different. So, but we got Imodel Beat Hero with here. This is like each picture is representing, you know, one of the songs from the project, individually playing, you know, the actual song itself. So from the marketing aspect, you get a chance to actually interact and, you know, do something a little different with the music than what you can do before. And the natural byproduct of that is people gonna memorize your stuff. So as the games continue to increase in the popularity, get more people on the platform, more people exposed to your games, more people gonna hear your stuff repeatedly. So again, keeping in our theme with just, you know what I mean, the whole branding and marketing aspect of it.
Dope.
Yeah, that's.
And how many games you got?
Right now we got 7 in Android and we got 3 in iOS right now. Got another 3 slated that we working to get into iOS that's on the table. We moving on our 10 and 10 plan. Appreciate it.
Yeah, that is really dope. I was going to ask you, you know, actually what was the creativity or what led you to create those apps? Because when you look at your brand as a whole, you know, the first product at the forefront is the booth. So what kind of drove you to that avenue of marketing where you would use local artists to, you know, to kind of promote their music and give them an edge on their competition, rather, to, you know, be successful in their field?
It's the same answer the first time. What I said, failure. So what happened was we got the equipment. I got an MIS degree, so technology background. Like that's probably why I get, you know, down with some of this anyway. But when I first set out, I was building the photo booth software because I'm not using my own photo booth at event software currently. I'm using my own equipment. But hell, who's going out there using their own software and equipment? You know what I mean? Right. A million times out of it, you're gonna find 2 people that's doing it. So that's nothing unusual, but I want to be able to control that side of it too. So a lot of money, a lot of pain, a lot of effort, a lot of time, and a lot of failure went into that, to where it was like it became a project where I was just like, you got to cut your losses. Like it's the first project in a long time that I was just like, you got to cut. Like this not going anywhere. It's just getting worse before it's getting better. But because of the resources that I developed, I was like, you know what? This wasn't helpful on that project, but I ran into it. I could do this with it. And the first thing was some of the things that I could do with the music. Like I always kind of had it in the back, but it was like I didn't need that on the software necessarily because I was trying to replicate what I'm using currently. And as I started to think about it more, I was like, the whole thing that we do could be turned up to a certain degree. You know what I mean? Like as far as the cartoon characters, because we do some graphic work as well, so we can do, again, the promotional materials that you see that come out with our name on it, or artists that we mess with associated with it. Usually we did that promo anyway. So we're already doing the materials from that side. We're already doing the brand marketing. We're already doing the cartoon characters, which is what CC was talking about. I don't know if he was on there when she was saying her cleavage was all on my TV. It was an accident, like 1,000%. Like I ain't even notice it, but yeah, she pointed it out. They was in the house. Yeah. But we're already doing those things. So it was like, I love games. I'm not a big console person, but I play games like casual games, which is the lane that we're in. We make casual games. They're gonna be the game when you sitting in the doctor's office, when you chilling on a quarantine and you bored. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be that chill session type of thing, but we want to incorporate more of the culture into it. And just trying to figure out how we could do that graphically, how we could do that musically. And I already, again, had those resources there. So it was really just trying to figure out how to get on the path of doing games. And honestly, it was a lot of luck. It was a lot of coincidence. It was I did a lot of work over on this side that wasn't gonna pan out. But again, the same resources came in handy. So we actually own or developing the templates to 135 games right now. So what we're offering is a white label service. You might be like, hey, I want my game to do this. CC might want her game to read a book. I don't know what she want to do with it, but you know what I mean? Like we can take that and incorporate it from the music, from the sound, from the graphics, from the look, and just cultivate it into something that's going to represent your brand. And we offer the hosting for it. We get it into the Play Store for you. We get it set up for the listing for you. So all of that kind of spun out of the process of I can't develop my own photo booth software. So crazy as it is.
Yeah, I mean that's
dope, man. That is really dope.
But with that being said, Imodel Booth, the app, the actual phone version, we're waiting for Apple to approve that right now. So that should be coming soon. So one day, very, very soon, we'll get back to the iPad version so that people can actually use it at live events for it.
Wow. Well, a lot of people don't know that you're my mentor, so you have so many hats that you wear. And while you was talking about quarantine, you also been doing the branding of putting people businesses on face masks. So tell us about that experience and the face masks that you doing right now.
Definitely. So last summer, so this is nothing new for us. Last summer, we started doing, if you start to see some of those masks that came out in Atlanta, I'm not saying we did all of them, but I'm saying we started moving some of them, doing them for artists. And you started to see it become a little bit more of a trend. But yeah, we started out with this one with Drip Squad QV that you might have saw floating around on Instagram. You was looking, CC? But if you saw them floating around on social media and, downtown last summer. So we started doing that for artists. So we just keeping with that same trend, man. We can pretty much customize them and do them for anything. Got one for the KSI. Shout out to my fraternity. You know what I mean? So we do fraternity, sorority stuff. Yeah, you might recognize that dude. That's me.
Oh, is that you?
You know
I'm about to say,
so whatever the personalization.
Oh, okay, yeah. I couldn't see it at first, but yeah, that's pretty solid.
But yeah, so we
I was gonna ask you who was that hot
celebrity
on there.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
Oh wow,
So
really?
this was for my son.
He had to show that.
He's the world's biggest. You know what? You're gonna bake me into the back and forth with you, CC. But no. So we can personalize them and do them up. Shout out to Where It Begins. If you happen to see the one that CC be looking like a sexy ninja in, we did that one as well. So.
But thank you. Thank you. You know, I've been getting a lot of people asking me where I got my masks from, and they've been actually wanting to get some done. So I got some people that's interested in buying them.
Yeah,
Look at that.
definitely,
See
man.
how I be branded?
I appreciate it. I appreciate you know, just like you do, and I'm sure, you know what I mean, just because she mess with you, bro, you probably on the same path. Networking is the best thing that you could do, man, because if you meet a lot of genuine people out, if you treat people right, people tell somebody about you. So I definitely appreciate any time anybody says our name.
Yeah, thank you, man. I'm holding it down over here in the DMV area, so I'm building up my network over here too, the whole base and everything. So she got down south on lock, so we gonna try and merge them at some point once we get this up and running for real, like.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what do
man.
you see in your journey in the next couple of years?
I don't know, man. If we can, a lot. It's gonna depend on how we get back outside for real. I'll say this: the game thing is kicked off on me, and the mask thing is kicked off on me, and also the ring lights that we do that y'all will see it. It's gonna be a whole little promotion behind it when we kick off ImodelBooth, the app, because it's basically a selfie photo booth for your phone. But we're gonna have a lot of branding going on down at the bottom. But just working on other things than just the photo booth, because I haven't been able, you know, to get out the house and get in front of people. So that's going to determine a lot what really happens with the photo booth side of the business. So that one I can't answer. You know, if we can't play sports until next year, some people gonna be hesitant to book stuff. You know what I mean? And then on the other side, it depends on where the numbers at, and whether I feel like personally working events or sending my people to work events. You know what I mean? So it's a lot. So that just brings to the other side. I'm definitely gonna keep pumping the merchandising that we do for ourselves, the merchandising that we do for others. The game lines, definitely, like I said, is gonna be crazy this year. Because those are things that are safe, those things that I can impact and touch people, hopefully take their mind off of some of this craziness, give them an outlet, give them a chance to listen to something new. And the people and artists, you know, that rock with me, give them exposure into lanes that they're not used to. So definitely any artists that want to get their music in the games, they can holler at us. It's a simple process for it. Anybody that wants their business advertised in the game, we definitely got a lot of opportunities that are through banners, through you know, just straight up like your logo as a decal type of situation for the players involved in a different game. So we got that whole situation going on. So definitely that's what I'm running out first, and the rest of it we doing it, you know, as a need for people as we come along, because we love to help them promote.
So I'm like that shirt you got on. Can I get my own brand business on one of those?
Yeah, we do that. We make these too. So yeah, definitely we don't focus to get into the whole t-shirt business necessarily, but again, we try to set it up so whatever you need, either we got it in-house or we can outsource as far as like merchandising. So definitely, yeah, we can hook up some WIB t-shirts.
See, look. I'm definitely gonna order me some this week.
Definitely.
Yeah,
All right, Mix Mike.
I was gonna say I asked the question earlier, but I'm glad because you were holding up the booth, so, and you didn't really answer, but you ended up answering it later on, which I'm glad, because you know, now that I've gotten the full picture, I can see the vision. Because I asked you earlier about your projected goals, like if you were gonna have you know, like different like have your product stationed in different states and stuff like that, you know, seeing if you can just kind of get everything around to the point where you can, like, not necessarily mass produce it, but you know, have enough to where you can reach that broadband, that demographic. But you say you getting the app ready, and I'm like, man, that's genius. Like, that's crazy. Not saying I wish I had thought of it, but man, I don't want to take your idea, but that's pretty dope. That's pretty solid. So, you know, I'm glad, you know, brothers like, I was gonna say, I'm glad brothers like you are, you know, are really forward thinking and are being proactive instead of, you know, kind of looking around and seeing what the trend is and kind of just playing it safe and, you know, doing like just doing like not necessarily cookie cutter, but like I said, you just want to, you move in a certain way where, you know, you making sure that you stay in line with the competition, but just doing enough so that someone will come to you. But your whole scope, how you got everything locked is it's airlocked, man. It's tight. So I really
Yeah,
respect you for that.
Nah, I appreciate it, man. I try to create an eco feed itself. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like I said, all of my stuff comes back to the most obvious thing that we do is the last thing that you think about. You know what I mean? Like from a branding standpoint, like people don't think about it, but like you've been stared at my logo since we've been talking. You get what I'm saying? Like people don't realize that those sort of things like all go into the message that you're trying to put out. If you've seen any of our posts lately or a year ago, you see whoever we were messing with or whoever's event it was at the time that we were representing. So, you know, that's that timeless element of a picture that you can always go back to. So definitely I tried to understand that early in the game. I understand that's how a lot of people are successful. Like our world, good or bad, has turned into almost a popularity contest at times, you know what I mean? And that's really what marketing has brought, you know what I mean? So it's just trying to figure out how can I participate in that and bring that lane to my people just a little bit different.
Okay. Well, congratulations on your journey. I'm so proud of you.
Appreciate it.
So
Let me ask y'all a question, each one of y'all. Can I do that?
go ahead.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no. Real quick, I want to know y'all impression. What do you think the world is gonna look like for the rest of 2020? Like as far as how it's gonna affect you and your world?
Go ahead, Mickey Monday. I gotta think about that one.
I mean, realistically, my job laid a bunch of people off, and I was one of the people that was, you know, in that group. So it was kind of unfortunate, but you just kind of learn to adapt and evolve. So, you know, this is a perfect time for me to get anything done that I couldn't get done when I was working. You know, I put some stuff aside, and now that's my focus. So, you know, I'm back on my music, stronger than ever, finishing my album, learning how to play the piano, learning music theory. You know what I mean, like that. And now it's like you kind of see how people either you know crack under pressure or they come out like diamonds. You know what I mean? So for me, it's kind of a blessing in disguise because, you know, I'm spending more time with my family. I'm cherishing things a lot more because things that we took for granted, or not I wouldn't say take for granted, but like things that we used to do so much, now we kind of have understood the importance of how critical time is to us as people, and, you know, what we need to do to better the world as a whole. Because even with everybody being in quarantine, a lot of like the world emissions have gone down. Like, you know what I mean? Like everything that we worried about, everything that we've been concerned about with like global warming and stuff like that, that's being affected on a macro scale. So, you know, like I said, it's really just a blessing in disguise, and you just kind of have to. I don't see it as negative. I don't see it as negative because I know we probably won't be able to do a lot of things that we used to until up until next year, until the second wave comes through at the end of this year. So, you know, you just kind of have to, like I said, adapt and evolve, and just, you know, it's a setback for a comeback. You know what I mean?
So clubs, sports, big events, your money is not on them this year.
I would say I'd be more hesitant to do it only because of the amount of risk that's involved. So like, for example, with the Republican Party is supposed to be holding their convention in North Carolina, and Trump wants to do this in the stadium, the stadium in Raleigh, North Carolina. You know, that sounds great, but the reality of it is someone that's asymptomatic, someone that has the virus is going to attend that rally. And people are going to be, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a trickle down effect. It's a ripple effect. Sorry, it's a ripple effect. So it's like, as far as those kind of live sporting events, I wouldn't put my hat in the race. Me personally, I wouldn't invest to put my hat in the race just yet, because like I said, this is people's livelihood. You know what I mean? Like that's the last thing you want to do. It's like you putting money in one pot, but then you also putting your hand in the pot and you weighing it down a little bit. So it's not really fair. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's been kind of good. I've been able to brand a lot. I've been able to do a lot with the magazine, do a lot with the podcast. So I've been using my time wisely. As far as clubs and bars and stuff, I see Atlanta has been opening up everywhere. So it seemed like Atlanta people saying, hey, look, we finna do this anyway. So it don't look like they losing out on anything. So we just got to
It's
see
not.
how that plans out.
Yeah, it's not just
But
Atlanta.
me, yeah, you're right. It's not just in Atlanta. But just speaking of Atlanta, because I'm here, and when I'm able to actually see it.
I mean, I think places are more so scrambling to open back up so that way they can kind of recoup some of this money for the summer. Because, you know, summer's a big time. You know, it's a big time for commerce in general in America anyway. So, yeah, it's still the wrong move, though, but initially.
Yeah. No, it is. It's scary, man, because it's you shouldn't have to choose between, you know, whether you can feed your family, you know what I mean, or you know what I mean, like it shouldn't be that type of situation. So I don't agree with the way a lot of these things, the way that it's played out. I don't think it should have played out like that. I think it's a lot better ways they could have did it. But just my opinion.
No, I agree wholeheartedly.
But it's time for WIB trivia. You ready?
Nah.
You ready for my trivia question?
No.
Really? Why? Why you have to say it like that?
Go ahead. No, I know it's gonna be hard.
No, it's not. See, I did an easy one. Okay, so if you had to do your iModel Booth and you had to interview on it, which one of these three would you interview and what would be their question? Cardi B, Dwayne Wade and his son, or Tiger King?
Ooh. What kind of answer do you want? Because I think
answer?
you know which one I'm gonna say.
I want you to be real.
I'm gonna say Cardi B.
Question.
I'm gonna say Cardi B. Why you not in jail for raping those dudes? That's my question.
So that's who you would pick the interview?
Yeah, if I get to ask one question to one person on the biggest stage out of that list, yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes you gotta like that fire.
I figured you was gonna pick her.
Because I believe, I believe because you know I'm not a fan. You know that. And that's why I'm not a fan. Like you can't throw Bill Cosby in jail for something that supposedly happened with some chicks that was already high off something else 50 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, but that's how the world works. Whoever they back in at the moment, that's who gets to shine. So that's just unfortunate.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your trivia question, Mike?
I just want to say really quick, I agree. I'm all for gender equality, like no double standards here. So I would say someone needs to sort that out. But but mine isn't really a trivia question per se. It's just it's a question about you as a person, you know. So just looking back on your life up until this point, if you could choose a slogan for your life, what would that slogan be and why?
Damn. Yeah, that was deep.
Come deep for us. Let's see. What you got? What you got?
No. You know I'm never that deep. Don't trust that shit. That would be the slogan.
And why would that be the slogan? Why? Why would you pick that?
Because somebody always got some lie to tell you or some dream to sell you. I would say like me, you know, like I'm a very chill, lax. Like if you got a problem with me, it's just because you got a problem. Like you really be in that shit by yourself. You know what I mean? Like I don't beef or go sideways at nobody. That's not how I carry myself. But every day of your life, somebody tries to sell you something that's totally felonious. And if you just think it's mental power, so just don't fall for that shit. Like be wary all the times that you probably failed is because somebody sold you into something you didn't need to be in. You know what I mean? I done been in business situations like that. I done been in relationships like that. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. Don't fall for that shit.
Okay.
Sound advice. I wish I knew you when I was a couple years younger, man.
I wish I listened to me.
I listen to you. You know, you my mentor over there. You don't know. If you don't know, now you know. But you know, you give me a lot of good feedback. So I can't say that. So thank you. Thank you so much.
No, I appreciate it. Y'all, I just wanted to ask y'all that question because I'm always trying to get people's feedback on how their view what just happened and what's continuing to happen is really going to impact them to see where everybody at.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I want you to tell everybody where they can follow you at.
Imodel Booth. ImodelBooth on everything. All right. Look like I just came back on. You can find us at Imodel Booth Games in your local app store. You can find us on Facebook at Mr. Imodel Booth. Find us on the website, ImodelBooth. Same thing, Imodel Booth on everything.
All right. Well, thanks for interviewing with us today.
Nah, definitely. Again, appreciate y'all for having me, and definitely, man, y'all be safe out there and be good. Keep doing your thing, CC. You grinding. Hey, Mickey, good to meet you, man. You seem like a good brother, so definitely keep pressing on, man.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Man, you are definitely a model, you know what I'm saying, role model example to follow, man, because like I mentioned earlier, the way you think is it's like light years ahead of anybody else. So I definitely commend you on that. And it was a pleasure meeting you too, man.
I appreciate it.
I agree. I agree. Well, you be safe out there. You have a happy Tuesday.
Y'all as well.
Thank you.
All right. Peace out.
Peace.